My name is Pawan Luthra, and over the last few days, there has been some exciting announcements, something which the Indian-Australian community has been waiting for a long time, the ability to travel from Australia to India and to bring in family members, especially parents in India, to Australia. Now, one of the icons of the travel industry who has been working extremely hard behind the scenes during the pandemic and even now is Ashwini Sonthalia, the Managing Director of Gaura Travels. Welcome to this interview, Ashwini.
Good afternoon, Pawanji. My pleasure to be speaking to you.
So Ashwini, 1st of November is coming and international travel is all going to happen. Tell us, how excited are you?
Can't be more excited than that. It's a Diwali gift to all of us from the Australian government. And it's very, very exciting to know that it's going to
talk us through it. What happens after 1 November? Can anybody from Australia of Indian background travel to India?
No, it's not anybody. It still is restricted to Australian citizens and permanent residents, because Australian borders are only opening for Australian citizens and permanent residents. But that's majority of us. So anybody who has Australian citizen or permanent residence from any state in Australia can travel out from 1st of November.
Do they need a travel permit or anything?
No, they don't need any exemption. So anybody can travel out from 1st of November from any city wherever they have flights operating, international flights out from Australia. So that is great news. And obviously, that wasn't possible for the last 2 years.
Do they have to show their vaccination travel passports of some sort when they travel out?
Absolutely. So it's only allowed for those who are fully vaccinated. Anybody who is not fully vaccinated will still have to go through that exemption process that has been in place for the last 2 years.
And when they get to India, do they have to quarantine, or can they just move on straight to meet with their family and friends?
Look, India has been beyond quarantine for almost 1 year now. They stopped quarantining last year around September, October. What they have a rule is a negative PCR test that is required. And as long as we have, each and every traveler has that, that's all is required and nothing else.
Okay.
So once you get to
obviously the question, Ashwini, Gaura Travels has been on the forefront of organizing flights and being totally upfront about what are the best ways to get to India. What are the options now should I want to, on the 1st of November or thereabouts, get onto a flight? So what can Gaura Travels offer?
So look, there are many options to go out of Australia. Coming in is still quite restrictive. So I'll just start with going out. So going out, basically, there are the regular airlines which are available, which is Emirates, Qatar, Etihad Airways, and also Sri Lankan Airlines have some flights. Unfortunately, there is no flights yet with Singapore Airlines or Malaysia Airlines into India, because India is still officially closed in terms of the international borders. They have air bubble agreements with 28 countries, and unfortunately, they don't have that agreement with Malaysia and Singapore. So there are options available through the Middle East with Emirates, Qatar, and Etihad Airways, as well as there is an agreement of India and Sri Lanka. So there is flights option available from Sri Lanka.
And you mentioned about there are less options about coming back from India to Australia. Can you tell us a little bit more about what the options are? And then perhaps if you can share with us what airfares can be expected for many, many people who would like to go and visit their family and friends in India.
So yeah, it's pretty much the same in terms of coming back as well. It's mostly the Middle Eastern route. However, I'm very happy to share here today that we have put out first quarantine flight to come back to New South Wales into Sydney on 1st of November itself. And it's already available on our website with Malaysia Airlines. It's leaving Delhi on the 1st of November, arriving into Sydney on 2nd of November, which means if someone is wanting to spend Diwali here with family and friends, can do that if they grab that flight.
Right. So people who are coming from India to Australia, I believe that it has to be parents of an Australian resident or a citizen who's been given permission to reunite with their families over here.
That is correct. So basically, any Australian citizens, any Australian permanent residents, and their immediate family members will be allowed to travel on these flights if they are fully vaccinated. Now, this is also welcome news that from 1st of November, the Australian government has changed their meaning of what is immediate family members and have included the parents as well in that definition.
Does it also include siblings like brothers and sisters?
No. So it's still only immediate family members, which is basically spouse and children, as well as now our parents.
That's still a very, very welcome news. Ashwini, Gaura Travels, can you share with us as to what airfares are expected on these flights, return airfares from Sydney to say Mumbai or Delhi or other parts of India and back to, the hubs in Sydney or Melbourne?
Absolutely. It's a little bit of a tricky situation now with return airfares because everything has been topsy-turvy. So more or less, most airlines are now giving one-way fares. So you can get a one-way ticket from here to India and one-way ticket from there back. But it's still very tricky to have a one combined return ticket because of obviously what has happened in the last few months. So to be very clear on this, the going out is still very, very cheap, and we are offering fares for $8.99, including taxes.
That's all,
Yes,
including
one way.
taxes.
Yes, one way from here to India, and that's on Etihad Airways. And many people have already got that, and there are still seats available on that. On the return, our first flight, as I said, on 1st November, we are offering that for 1,899, including taxes, which is still a big drop from $7,000 that people were paying just a week back to get into Australia, because those flights were capped and those flights had very limited seats that people
So
could.
basically, what I'm hearing from you is return can be done, though it'll be obviously two different tickets, but you can do that for about $2,700, which when it's peak season to travel to India, is pretty much what people pay for traveling to India in, after late November and December and January anyway.
That is correct. So it's more or less going to be that 2,000 plus mark that people would need to pay to go and come back from India. Hey, but it's a lot of competition. We have 750,000 Indians in Australia all wanting to go and come back, and I would say there's hardly 10,000 seats available. So there's 10,000 seats being outbid and competed by 750,000 Indians.
Look, I think it's important because one of the pain points has been being separated from family in India, especially during all the uncertainty during COVID times. So what is being offered to them, I think, is quite priceless. So $2,500 could be a small price to pay just to go and hug your parents or your brothers and sisters who may have gone through a pretty difficult time. So Gaura Travels, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, we have open 24/7. We have been open 24/7 all this while during this pandemic.
You don't sleep?
Look, personally, I do try to get some of it. However, our team is working round the clock, and we have rotating shifts. So we are here to serve everybody. They just need to call us on 1300 Fly India. Plus, they can go onto our website, gauratravel.com.au. All the informations are there. Everything can be booked online.
And then they can be on the next flight to India, or in another 10 days' time, we're actually flying in to Australia from India and catching up with the family and friends. Well done, Ashwini. Great job.
Thank you very much. It's our pleasure to serve the community.
And may you take more families and reunite them. Thank you for joining us on Indian Link.
Thank you. I would like to wish everybody a happy Diwali. It's coming up. All the best, and wish you all a very happy Diwali.
And the same to you and the family, Ashwini.